Everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Let's up here a little bit. How's that?
Good.
Got some hard shoes to fill, Garrett. How many of you really appreciate the concepts that Garrett was describing about LLCs and recognizing the difference between the personal responsibilities and liabilities and those that can come with a business? Wasn't that fantastic? Yeah. Great. With your other hand, let's do some calisthenics. Who owns a business? And you recognize what Garrett was describing about the protections that now, and for those of us who want to encourage and grow business, either the one you have or the two you might plan for, recognize the value of the concepts that Garrett's talking about. What I will speak to today is about the financing that comes within those asset protection strategies and asset protection models. I refer to LLC and LLC loans, again, to that strategy of asset protection. But you might call some of these concepts synonymous with what you would do with an S corporation, as Garrett pointed out. In the real estate environment, there are some similarities, but also we enjoy the differentiation. And so the majority of my concepts today will be talking about LLCs. If you have any questions about LLCs, you can ask us in the back, or Garrett will certainly go into more detail. But one of the things we'll spend some time on in the PowerPoint that I'll present goes through is the differentiation between your personal credit and your business credit. And let me just preface with, wouldn't it be nice if your business, let's just assume you have one business in your future, had $1 million credit line? Who'd like that? Who could do something with that? In today's buyer's cycle, we all agree it's a buyer's market right now, right? Wouldn't it be nice if I had an extra $1 million? Well, I'm going to teach you how you might accomplish that and how you can do this without that debt showing up on your personal credit. And the two different credit systems act very differently. And the personal credit system, which we're raised with, is a punitive system. It's a system where, in fact, your FICO score is impacted negatively by 88 factors. It's impacted positively by 6. Anybody know what those 6 might be? Wouldn't it be nice to know what all 6 are? Well, the business credit environment operates a little differently. And we'll get into some of the concepts and how to move the debt that you might already have to the business and the debt that you might acquire to the business. Because ultimately, if we do our role, is you'll have a business with $1 million credit line. Not too far down the distant road. Everybody interested in that? Yeah. How about having 10 little businesses? That would do the same thing for you. You might recall a couple of the slides that Garrett was showing earlier where you have an LLC, where in each LLC you might have an individual property. You recall that slide? Where there's 12 LLCs across the screen? Well, your first inclination might be, that's really expensive, Chris. In California, that would be $800 a year. Let's say there's 10 of them. That's $8 grand a year. And that's our first inclination. But what I would suggest to you is put the positive hat on and say, well, if each little entity could borrow $100,000, then $800 is pretty insignificant, isn't it? If you can't make $800 with the 100 I'm going to give you, right? That's the concepts that I want to start to introduce. So you guys all remember the Austin Powers movies where he has a little mini-me? Start imagining you have 10 mini-me's, right? If you're in the real estate business, who would like to own 10 single-family homes at some point in the future? Or multifamily or commercial properties? Consider we might start planning for that. And my talk today will be on the strategy to develop that. It's not something you can do overnight, but there's some concepts for the people getting started. There's concepts for the person about to make their next purchase. And there's conversation for those who've already gone down this road. And how do we unwind this a little bit, as if we could start over, maximizing these concepts.